Good evening, all of you. I only hear one cross section, Chandru was just mentioning that tea has worked. Has it worked or no? Representative, no. Come on, now can I ask you a question and we begin with this. How many colleges do we have here? Right here in this room. Okay. Lovely. I see close to 70, 80 odd easily. And you're only a representative population, remember. Right? We have scores and scores of colleges around. I'm sure all day long, and I'm sure we went to the slog overs, as Chandru rightly said, and pretty difficult to hold attention. So we were very conscious that we would not go with any presentation. We said no PPT, because you see, we've all seen a lot of padam, the word called padams. Too many padams, corporate is all about that is what I hear. So we decided to do away with it, and trust me, all three of us who have come here are going to be speaking extempore, because there's no need for this topic to approach Dr. Google, Data points are there for all of us to see. So to cut the long story short, today mushrooming colleges. I'm actually coming to you straight from the oven, straight from the campus drive. I was there in a campus recruitment this morning, and tomorrow again, I take my team along to do some campus pool in Chennai. Now, to me, the reason I love going to campuses is because it makes me feel very young. You somewhere along realize that when you're at office, you're treated within quotes, the elderly or whatever you want to call them. But when you're at college with the youngsters around, you relive your childhood. So to me, it's amazing to go back to students time and time again. So what then, going back to the topic at hand, we're talking of campus hiring, and all of us know the pros. I thought Chandru did a very nice job of setting the context and telling you why do we want to go and look at the bottom of the pyramid. Again, fresh talent, moldable, all of that. But the whole thought, I want you all to start thinking on these lines, is that today, when I turn around, there are umpteen colleges. I receive, around campus season, invites from easily anywhere between 80 to 100 colleges. Over phone, over email, in person, right now. So where is the differentiator? I'm straying away from the topic of so-called pros and cons, and I'd like you to actually think, before we go into the pros and cons, what in each of your institution, to you, my very dear friends, is that differentiator, which will give you the edge, right? Why would companies like ours come and approach a particular college and then want to take from that college again and again each year? The whole difference, I think, emanates from your alumni, your people who join us. And each year, we have our own assessments on how we grade, rank, and look at colleges. So while I appreciate the effort that academicians are putting in to bring in a good, end product, my humble submission to this audience is that that's not enough. And the reason I say that's not enough are threefold. A, today's, I'm not a generation, I'm not a dinosaur, so I'm not going to be saying today's generation. And I have never had problem dealing with Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, any generation. I'm trying to say today's youngsters have sort of begun looking at instant gratification in everything they do. Multifarious factors contribute to that, folks, but the point remains that they do something, they expect a reward, immediate, instant gratification. Now, who is spurring this on and on? Companies like us, folks at home, society at large, and the institution too. Right? So the need of the hour for all of them predominantly happens to be money, money, and more money. So what happens is companies like us, when we train people and we want to get these people more and more productive after a period in time, we realize that we're losing this talent. Not just to competition, we're losing them aimlessly in the so-called name of rewards and money. Money is important, but money can't be the only motivator. Coming back to the campus scenario. The scenario that we talk today about is colleges churning out people. Ratio, for example, 800 people coming in to write a campus written test. And I'm going with numbers from my own experience in the recent few days. Now of the 800, I've just got 15 to 16 people, a little less than 1%, clearing the written test. Now, can you look at the proportion there? Isn't it alarming? Do we not need to do some bit of introspection to see why is it that our college, the students aren't clearing the written exam? So folks, please go back to your colleges, call for focus group discussions, reflect, and come up with strategic and corrective actions. This is the need of the hour. We want people, you have people, where is this big gap? There's a huge chasm between the demand, the supply, and the actual employability of the individual. I'm sure you've been hearing all these in multiple forums, because when I walked in, I did meet up with many of my friends in this crowd whom I've known. The point is, are we able to influence when we go back to our workplace or to our college? Because when we go back to our workplace, the same question gets asked out of us by business. When Java went, Kava came, right? So on and so forth. It'll keep on endlessly going. But do we groom our people? All these technologies which which we use for your iPad applications and so on, can we bring in those specific modules? Now, invariably what happens is, my third submission is on these lines. We don't groom our students aptly through the entire 3 years they're with us. We rise and shine in the 4th year, doesn't help. By then, somebody else in your competition zone has already stolen the cake. They've got it. Right? I do not want to name this college, but years back when I worked for one of the big fives, there was this college, very, very rural area in Tamil Nadu. The principal was a far-looking visionary, a very far-fetched, a very far-sighted gentleman. And he would call, I was much younger then, and he would call us and say, Madam, what should I be doing to be far better than the city-bred colleges? He wasn't looking at being on par, he wanted to be far better than all of them. So folks, we all can bring the change. Today, if we want together to turn out good students, good quality of engineering students and graduates, I think very important for us to focus on the curriculum. And there are things that we can do at our own selves. You don't need to worry about Anna University curriculum or whatever. There are smaller modules which need to be customized, inbuilt for you to bring the difference. These are my submissions to the forum. Thank you.